Les monts Hengduan divisent la province du Sichuan en deux parties distinctes. D'un côté les plaines, de l'autre les plateaux. L'air raréfié, le froid extrême et la neige des hautes montagnes d'une part, les dangereux marais des plaines de l'autre. Telles furent les épreuves auxquelles l'armée rouge fut confrontée il y a plus de 80 ans. Bien qu'aujourd'hui la région soit plus sûre que jamais, pour Fernando Munoz Bernal, qui a connu les forêts de l'Amazonie, le voyage vers les hauts plateaux du Sichuan occidental ne sera pas de tout repos.
Liangshan-Yi Autonomous Prefecture, located in southwest of Sichuan, is a mountainous area home to one of China's oldest ethnic groups, the Yi people.
It was May 1935 when the Central Red Army entered the Liangshan mountainous area. There are many legendary stories about this place, but one of them stands out as more famous than others. I am on my way to Yihai to learn what took place there.
Yihai is a plateau lake. When the Red Army arrived, people of the Yi ethnic group around here still lived in a slave society. Shama Yigu's grandfather was the spiritual leader of the Yi people at the time, second only to the chief, Xiao Yedang. Shama Yigu grew up listening to the stories of the Red Army in Yihai.
1935年5月22日这天早上，太阳刚刚升起的时候，传来一阵枪声。小一党和我爷爷认为是国民党的地方警方要来搜捕我们一去了。他们年轻人就来到这个沙上观察，往下一看，一支庞大的队伍弯低着头，弯不到尾。在这个时候，四面山上的一处人还是不停地朝这支队伍开枪，但是这支队伍始终不发一枪一弹，只做宣传。 就是不要打，不要怕，真是好人，真是护军。这个时候，我爷爷就觉得太不可思议了。这么庞大的队伍，这么多枪，为啥子坐在地上让别人打自己？我去看看，究竟是啥子回事。
After personal investigation, Shama Yigu's grandfather found that the Red Army was indeed special. They advocated equality among all ethnic groups and they helped the poor. Liu Bocheng, commander of the Red Army's advanced troops, expressed goodwill and willingness to bond with the Yi people's chief as brothers.
当年1935年5月22日，刘北辰和小一党就在这个地方。那天刘北辰就坐在这个比较稍微高点的石头，小一党就坐在他的对面。中间这块是我爷爷杀马尔克做的。要举行祭墓仪式，必须有酒，但是还没得酒。当时刘北辰就这么说。 只要兄弟诚心诚意，没有酒，汽水带酒。他边说边在胡继长司令身上起下2个刺中，一孩子里面舀出2株水来，对天发誓炼一些金，鲜红的鸡血就滴入2个水中里面，分别打给刘北辰和小一党2个祭墓人，这样一一而尽。
After the founding of New China, the Yi people in Liangshan entered the modern era. However, mountains and steep cliffs continued to hinder local development. To improve the livelihoods of the Yi people still further, the government has implemented targeted poverty alleviation measures tailored to the needs of different villages. Gumo village was once notoriously poor, but today it's the most beautiful Yi village in Sichuan.
Okay.
Like many other young villagers, 26-year-old Luobi Yi used to work in big cities. The changes in his hometown have drawn him back. Now his main job is to promote rural tourism. Luobi Yi took me to a Chinese-style B&B run by Mrs. Edi Chuxi. In 2018, Edi Chuxi built a new house with the help of the government and opened a Yi-style B&B.
这就是我们的那个民宿，慢点儿。这房子是2层的，上面那层全部都是用木头做的，全部都是木头的。然后这是你的房间，这种房子有30多户，都是做民宿的，就是像这种跟这个一模一样的东西。这房子一共有2层，下面那层是他们自己出钱修的，然后上面第2层就是国家援建的，就1分钱都不要。
An adobe house is kept next to the new house. It helps visitors better understand the traditional lifestyle of the Yi people.
从这个梯子上去还可以到上面去。对，这边就是我们以前做饭的地方。就以前很冷嘛。
So this is for cooking and also for warmth, right?
这个叫锅庄。以前一家子都生活在这个屋里面，就全部吃住都在这里。现在一般的话，这种房子就拿来就当仓库一样，人就住在那个新房子里面去了。对。
The change of Gumo village began in 2017 with assistance from Foshan city of Guangdong province. Eddie Chuxi and 606 other Yi families moved into the new houses. Highways to their doorsteps were also built. As the unique Yi culture and natural scenery attract more and more tourists, traditional Yi handicrafts begin to thrive. I am surprised to find that the patterns of some Yi handicrafts are very similar to those in my country, Colombia. The traditional Yi shawls made by these ladies are warm and beautiful. I want to give it a try. Cultures have no barriers. I will always remember the passion and hearty laughter of the Gumo villagers. Robi R.E. told me that he is very happy to see that many of his young friends have also returned home, bringing vitality to the old village. They believe in a better future for Gumo village. Another Yi village I'm visiting next has found its own successful poverty alleviation model as well. Unlike Gumo village, Atuler village is almost completely isolated from the outside world. Located on an 800-meter high plateau, the village is nicknamed Cliff Village. To facilitate access to Atuler, the government built the steel stairway in 2016, which has a total of 2,556 steps. Before that, Atuler villagers had to clamber up and down 12 rattan ladders instead. The construction of the steel ladder has ensured villagers' safety, resulting in greater contact with the outside world. Halfway through my climb, I met Mose Subura, who grew up in the Cliff Village.
你好，哎，你好，你好。
哇，还有多远啊？
从这儿爬上去可能还需要3个小时。
是每一天是差不多6个小时？
来回基本上需要1天。
哇，
因为
我的妈呀！
我这个时候下去一会儿就太热了，就下不去了，只有等到那个太阳，没那么大的时候才能上山。
那边有水，有电，我看到有一点点，对不对？
嗯，对，电、水、网都有，都有。
真的？
对，都有。主要是这个路不方便，还有就是这个孩子读书不方便。
To completely transform the villagers' quality of life, since 2020, many Cliff Village residents have been moved to 4 new communities at the foot of the mountains. Among them, 27 households moved into the Muandi community, where over 6,000 people from 87 villages are now accommodated. In the community grocery store, I met Yike Muguo, who used to live in the Cliff Village. He hardly knew candies when growing up. Now, he has opened this store after moving into his new home to provide shopping convenience to residents here.
你这个房子你赔多少钱？
这个房子我们要交1万块钱。要是我们自己去买的话，我现在29岁，可能40、50岁才能住上这个房子。这个房子至少要值20-30万。
你爸爸妈妈觉得怎么样？
刚开始过来的时候不适应，现在已经习惯了。然后他们帮我开一下超市，然后带一下孩子。特别喜欢现在的话。
Mose Atie, in his early 20s, is also a new resident here. His job is to assist social workers to help other relocated residents solve various problems and adapt to the new environment.
你好， 我想问一下，你们的日常的工作是什么？
平时居民在家中遇到了什么困难，他都可以通过一件事叫平台反馈到我们这里来。由我们这里接单以后，我们会马上的对接社区支部，社区支部就会派专人上门免费的帮助居民解决問題。
All right, we are getting a live call into the service. Let's see what this user needs.
I asked Ache to take me to the home of the resident who just called for help. To my surprise, the maintenance worker is already there. The furniture and electrical appliances in the house are either free or paid for by the government through cash subsidies. The one-touch call service is made possible by this phone. In order to help young Yi people learn more skills, the community regularly offers various sorts of vocational training and has had a Yi embroidery workshop established. The daycare center provides a gathering place for the elderly, and social workers are there to chat with them so that the elderly won't feel too lonely in this new environment. Mosa Ache said that he really envied the children in the community. When he was little, there was no kindergarten in the village. The school was a long walk away. Now, the community has one middle school, 2 primary schools, and a great kindergarten.
Hello? Go! Turn around. Jump up high. Oh! After having seen these 2 different kinds of solutions for poverty alleviation here, I can tell you that there is not one single solution to this issue. The people here in this community have had to adapt to a very different lifestyle, and that has its own challenges. While the people who stayed in the mountain, they have it a little bit easier because they are in the same familiar space. However, having seen the children at this school here with their bright smiles and all their energy, I can tell you that it's a very bright future for the people of this community.
Heading north from Liangshan Prefecture, the Jiajing Mountain looms. With an altitude of 4,930 meters, its main peak is covered with snow all year round. Its air is thin, its weather very fickle. This is the first snow mountain the Red Army crossed during the Longue Marche. Zhegan village lies at the foot of the Jiajing Mountain. It was here that the Red Army had stayed to prepare some simple cold-proof materials before crossing the mountain.
I have come to the Red Army Snow Mountain Crossing Memorial to learn more about the perils and dangers of their journey through these mountains. And I have found some very interesting artifacts that they had to improvise as they were facing very cold weather. Among those is this particular vest over here that they had to make in order to face the cold weather. But this is not the only one. Perhaps the more interesting one are the kind of footwear that they had to wear as they walked through the snow. It's really unbelievable what they had to go through. I have learned that Mr. Ma used to be a guide for the Red Army as they went up and down the snow-capped mountains, and his son has agreed to meet with me and tell me about these perilous times.
Ma Wenli was born in Zhegan village. He took me to his former house, which was where the Red Army started their journey to climb over the snowy mountains.
来回跑了10多趟，晚上给红军带路，成功地翻越了嘉金山。
Ma Wenli took me to the Jiajing mountain pass. The weather was very changeable. Soon, we encountered rain and heavy fog. We finally reached the Jiajing mountain pass. The temperature continued to drop. Ma Wenli told me in detail how his father led the Red Army over the Jiajing mountain.
一个人的话就要带一个储物棍，2只眼睛就要擦血。如果不擦血呢，就眼睛就痛或者眼睛要小。走累了以后，不能休息，更不能睡觉，只要有休息一睡觉就起不来了。必须要走这个，要看这个望杆走。这个望杆看了以后，你看在前面那个还有个望杆，走那个地方看，完了这才能够比较成功的翻过这个血塘。如果是没有向导，没得人带路，那个血塘啊有100-200米深，如果掉下去，那个是没得活命的了。
These road signs used to be about 5 meters high. Now, only the stone base remains, silently telling the heroic actions of the Red Army more than 80 years ago. Today, the snow-capped mountains that were such a formidable obstacle for the Red Army have become a popular tourist destination, attracting many hikers. Mount Sigunian attracts many alpine climbers. There are over 50 snow-capped mountains with well-known climbing routes. Zhelang Lungbu grew up at the foot of Mount Sigunian. Collecting medicinal herbs and farming used to be the only sources of income for him and other residents. Now, he is co-founder of a professional mountaineering company. In order to experience alpine climbing, I participated in a mountaineering training course. A decade ago, professional mountaineering services offered here were all from foreign teams, whilst Zhelang Lungbu and his partner Tashi were working only as porters. They soon realized that as natives who were familiar with the mountains, they could do whatever the foreigners were doing. So they started to learn mountaineering skills systematically, working as guides until they established their own company. The most exciting moment has finally arrived, the ascent.
We have arrived at 4,480 meters above sea level. Right now, we are getting ready to properly suit me with the technical gear that will keep me warm and safe as we climb up the mountain.
To ensure my safety, everything is carefully checked. Shoelaces, helmets, safety belts, ascenders, and trekking poles. Finally, Lungbu and I are tied to the same rope.
Well, we are all kitted up, all geared up, and well, all ready to start our climb. I feel very safe and in very, very good hands. So, let's go.
好，现在我们准备出发。好。
Here. 谢谢。 This is extremely slippery. The snow is very soft and the rocks underneath are not fixed, so at any time your foot can just slip over and you fall like I just did. This is very treacherous, but he's holding me up, so I'm good. Let's go. You see, this is the thing. You don't know which rock is still and which rock is moving, so it's very easy to lose your footing. The snow is covering the rocks and you don't know what's underneath. You don't know which one is going to move or which one is not, so it's very, very slow, making sure that every step is safe and testing. So this rope is a lifeline, really. All right. Oh my God.
谢谢。老贝，马上，我们马上要登顶了。真的吗？加油！
We are finally at the top. Tasha has prepared something to surprise me.
怎么样？感觉？好厉害，
好厉害是吧？
这个真的。
现在喝点水，吃点东西啊，休整一会儿。
吃点东西。
你的脚怎么样？
有一点冷。
有一点是吗？
对啊。
那个我们现在我们的装备防水保暖又比较昂贵，你知道以前我们的红军过雪山、过草地都是穿的草鞋。
我知道。
知道是吗？
知道。
好，我们给你准备了一双。
What？
你要不感受一下？
哪里啊？
好，包里面。
妈呀！ Well, when you look at these shoes are very difficult to secure. And even if you put them on, they're gonna move around. And as you walk through the rocks and the snow, your feet are gonna get wet or you're gonna cut your feet. It's just unbelievable what they achieved with so little equipment, so little gear. Thank you. I'm trying to walk in the snow with these shoes. Of course, the snow is in contact with my socks and it's already freezing. I can feel how cold it is. There's very little grip on the shoes. It's so easy to slip. That's cold.
When I arrived at Jiajing Mountain, I had the normal symptoms of high altitude. I had a headache and I had nausea, and I had to postpone my work for one day. But back in the day, the Red Army soldiers who had come from the south, they had never seen snow, and they were facing that mountain without the gear and without the knowledge that I shared when we climbed it. When I tried the straw shoes and tried to walk on the snow, I realized that I would have never been able to do what the Red Army soldiers do. And I wonder what moved them to try to tackle that mountain. And the answer is simple. They hoped that one day their children would have a wide and bright smile as Lumbu and his friends.
But getting over the mountains didn't mean the end of the Red Army's arduous march. Before them lay the vast grasslands, even more life-threatening than the snow-capped mountains. Bangyo Township was the first inhabited village the exhausted Red Army reached after a week's marching across the grasslands. I met a descendant of a Red Army soldier here. His father, wounded in battle, couldn't keep up with the main army, so he decided to stay here. He grew up listening to his father's stories about the Red Army's perilous Longue March.
I can't imagine how difficult it must be to walk carrying lots of gear around. Oh, yo.
当初我们老百姓说，鬼都趟不过的沼泽地就在这个地方。你实际看一下，测试一下这个地方。当初我们的父辈们说，从这个地方脚一踏，震动是方圆10米地方就要震动下去。当时的红军是南方人，平均年龄在17、18岁，从来没见到过，更没有听说过这种故事。一次性我父亲最悲痛的是什么呢？一次性他的战友10个人喊下去了，但是整个战是没得办法。 不能为你救活自己的战友，所以说最痛苦的就是这件事。他们得用自己的生命给红军打通一个路标，走出草地。所以说，我们的追草地对于我们红军长征史上是非常程度的代价。
On its long, arduous journey across the grasslands, the Red Army lost over 10,000 people. Today, on the bank of the Bangyo River, a statue called Dawn of Victory stands in memory of the fallen. Fortunately, the sacrifices and quests made in the past have brought peace and harmony to the present. This is a beautiful alpine wetland grassland, home to some of China's rare black-necked cranes. They are thriving again thanks to the environmental restoration of the rural Argai grassland. Sonam Dorje is a herdsman on the grassland. He has nearly 100 yaks at home. He took me to the county seat of Ruargai to buy fodder. Sonam Dorje told me that overgrazing has severely damaged the ecology. The degraded grasslands and wetlands are no longer as beautiful as they were when he was a child. The quality of yaks has also suffered. To help the environment recover while increasing the income of herdsmen, the government is promoting a new method of raising animals.
我们这边现在放牧的方式一直推广的是三结合这种模式嘛，就是圈养。我们这儿有圈嘛，有圈有嘛，圈养。然后就是补饲，就像我们刚刚拉的那个饲料要给它补。还有就是像这种传统的放牧方式，就把它们放出去。 吃这个草，就这种的，可以减少那个牛的这个死亡率是降到了很少。
According to Sonam Dorje's calculations, traditional grazing requires 1.7 hectares of pasture to raise one yak. The hybrid method, on the other hand, requires less than 0.7 hectares per yak, meaning less environmental impact on the land, improved productive capacity, and increased incomes for the herdsmen. In the past, Ruargai people's main income mostly came from animal husbandry. Today, thanks to the new ecotourism model, herdsmen have more options. They can make money at their doorstep through their B&Bs and shops.
Oh.
35-year-old Namejia is an intangible cultural heritage inheritor of Tibetan metalwork craft, merging traditional and modern elements to reinvigorate Tibetan handicrafts. Namejia has 15 apprentices, all of whom are studying with him free of charge. He wants more young people to inherit this craft and start their own businesses. The Red Army entered Aba, Sichuan, and stayed there for 16 months during the Longue Marche. According to incomplete statistics, local Tibetan people provided the Red Army with more than 10,000 tons of food and 200,000 yaks. This is why Mao Zedong also called it the Yak Revolution. More than 80 years ago, Tibetan support ensured the victory of the Longue Marche. And today, the smiles of the Tibetan people are the best reward for all the dedication and perseverance.
I have seen the hard-working and diligent, yet quite content Yi ethnic group. I have also seen the very colorful and very enthusiastic Tibetan ethnic group. I have seen the yaks graze freely in the grassland, and I have seen the beautiful bright smile of the children. I have seen the changes in their lives and the smiles in their faces. And even though change can be difficult and require you to adapt, I think that it can bring about a transformation that is both physical and spiritual. And perhaps change is the silver lining that can bring a brighter future.